Ah, the silence today, an eerie and haunting quiet that stretches beyond comprehension. It's not the calm after the storm. No, this is something darker, more profound. It's the silence that follows the last breath of victory, the stillness that lingers once you've crossed the final line, once the game has ended and the battles fought have reached their bloody and unforgiving conclusion. It's the silence of an ending, the end of something fierce and final. And in this moment, you know deep down, you've played the final round. The stakes were high, the odds were against you, but you made it. And now, they're out for good, gone forever from your life, from your mind, from your path. No more distractions, no more petty wars, no more trivial things standing in your way. They are finished, cast aside by the weight of your will and determination. But even as you stand in the wreckage of their fall, there's a creeping truth that starts to gnaw at the edges of your mind. It's the question that haunts every conqueror, every warrior who has ever faced the crushing weight of victory. What now? The battle is over. The final round has been played, and yet the world remains. The challenge, the hunger, the need for more, it doesn't just vanish. No, the silence is not peace. It is the silence before the real storm, the one that begins within you. Because the final round wasn't the end of the game. It was just the beginning of something far more brutal, something that demands more than just strength. It demands sacrifice. It demands that you look into the abyss and not turn away. It forces you to confront the truth of who you are and what you're capable of becoming. You see, they thought they could break you. They thought you were just another casualty, just another weak soul who would crumble under pressure, who would fold when the game got too hard. They were wrong. They underestimated you. They didn't see the fire that burned inside you, the rage that simmered beneath the surface, the relentless drive that pushed you beyond your limits and made you rise when others would have fallen. You were always destined for something more, and that something came at a price. The cost of victory, of true victory, is far more than most can comprehend. It's not just about being the last one standing. It's about being the one who stands alone against everything and everyone and still emerges stronger. You played the final round, and now they're gone for good. But don't think for a second that this is the end of your struggle. No, this is when the real work begins. You've won, but what have you truly won? You've silenced the opposition, but what happens when silence is all that's left? There's no applause here, no cheering crowds, no validation from those who once doubted you. There is only the cold, empty feeling of having done what no one thought you could. And now, in the stillness of your success, you must confront the one thing that is left: yourself. The journey was always about more than them. It was never about proving them wrong. It was always about proving to yourself that you were capable of more, that you had the strength, the cunning, the will to do what others could not. But now, the question shifts. What do you do with the space they've left behind? What do you do with all that power, all that focus, all that energy now that there's no one left to fight? It's not enough to rest on your laurels and claim victory, for the world moves on. The game moves on. And if you stand still, if you rest too long in the glow of your success, you will soon find that the world will pass you by. It will move past you and leave you behind. The true test is not in winning the final round, but in what you do after the final round. You have to evolve. You have to adapt. You have to become more than what you were before. The fight was not just about defeating them. It was about discovering who you truly are. And now that the battlefield is empty, now that the last of the opposition has crumbled, it's time for you to find out what lies beneath the surface, what lurks in the depths of your own mind. There are parts of you that have been dormant, buried under the weight of struggle, that now demand your attention. They want to be heard, they want to be seen, and they will not be ignored. These parts of you are the ones that will shape your future, that will determine whether you are just another passing victor, or whether you will carve your name into the annals of history. There is no time for complacency. The world doesn't wait for you to catch your breath. It doesn't wait for you to process the destruction you've just wrought. It moves forward, relentlessly, and if you want to stay ahead, if you want to continue to rise, then you must move forward too. The final round is over, but the real challenge is in the silence that follows. Can you stand in the silence without faltering? Can you live with the consequences of your own victory, with the knowledge that you have done what few could ever even imagine? That's the true measure of who you are. And trust me when I tell you, that's the hardest battle you will ever face. So do not seek the validation of others. Do not wait for recognition, for applause, for the approval of a world that is always ready to tear you down, to find your flaws and exploit them. The only approval you need is your own. The only validation you need is the one you give yourself when you look into the mirror and know that you gave everything, that you held nothing back, that you fought with everything you had. And then, that is where true strength lies. That is where true power resides. Not in what others think of you, not in what they see when they look at you, but in what you know you are capable of. What you know you can do when no one else is watching, when no one else is there to see the sacrifices you make, the struggles you endure, the endless hours you put in to ensure that your victory is not just an accident, but a deliberate, calculated result of your own blood, sweat, and tears. You have defeated them. You have won the final round. But do not think that this is the end. This is merely the beginning of a new war. A war against complacency, against the fear of what happens next. A war against the parts of you that want to rest, to stop, to settle. But you know deep down that you cannot. You cannot stop now. Not when you've come this far. Not when you've seen just how far you can go. The silence may be deafening, but it is also liberating. It is your chance to reset, to rebuild, to emerge from the ashes of the old, and rise stronger than before. The final round is over, but your journey is far from done. So take a moment to breathe, to feel the weight of what you've accomplished, but do not stay in that moment for too long. The world will not wait for you, and neither should you. You have played the final round, and they are out for good. But now it is time for you to move forward and find the next battle, the next challenge, the next victory. Because in the end, there is always another round, another fight, another war waiting just around the corner. And you are ready. Ready to rise, ready to conquer, ready to become something even greater than what you were before. You're standing at the precipice, looking down at the journey you've just completed. The air is thick with the weight of victory, but also with the eerie sensation of what lies ahead. The ground beneath you seems solid enough, but it's a deceptive solidity, the kind that crumbles the moment you grow complacent. The silence that fills the space around you is a reminder that nothing lasts forever. You've made it, yes, but the question remains, what now? What do you do with the space left in your way? You've eliminated your competition, outlasted those who stood in your way, and proved that you are more than capable of going the distance. But this is where the real challenge begins. You've reached the top, but the real test is not in how high you can climb, it's in how long you can stay there. The true essence of your victory lies not in the battles you've already fought, but in the ones that are yet to come. You may have defeated them, but you're still standing in the arena. The war isn't over, it has only just begun. You've tasted success, but don't be fooled. That taste can be fleeting. It's the hunger for more, the insatiable desire to rise beyond what you thought was possible that will define your future. The question you have to ask yourself is simple yet profound. Are you willing to go even further? Are you ready to climb even higher, to push beyond the limits of what you once thought were your boundaries? They're out for good. The obstacles, the distractions, the voices that told you that you couldn't do it, they're gone. But in their absence, there is only one thing left for you to confront. It's not the external forces, it's not the competition, and it's not the world that's standing in your way. The only thing left to challenge you is the person you see when you look in the mirror. It's the voice inside your head that tells you that you've reached the peak, that you've done enough, that now is the time to rest, to revel in the spoils of your hard-fought war. That voice will try to convince you that you've earned your place, that you've done your part, and now you deserve to bask in the glory of your victory. But don't listen to that voice. Don't let it lull you into complacency. You see, the moment you start thinking that you've reached the end, the moment you stop believing that there's more to be gained, that's when the fall begins. That's when the weakness sets in. Success is a dangerous thing because it breeds comfort, and comfort breeds stagnation. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you stop growing, that's when the world will leave you behind. So ask yourself, are you content with the heights you've reached, or do you have the hunger to climb even higher? There is always more. There is always further to go. The key to survival, the key to thriving in this world, is the ability to keep moving forward even after you've achieved what you once thought was impossible. The game is not over. You've won a battle, but there are countless more to fight. And it's not just about surviving, it's about conquering. It's about showing the world that the victory you've claimed wasn't a fluke, that you're not a one-hit wonder, but a force to be reckoned with. It's about proving that what you've achieved was just the beginning, that you've got more in you, that you can go further than anyone could ever imagine. You're standing on the precipice, but the view isn't everything. It's the next step that matters. It's the choices you make from this point forward that will define who you become. The ones who never make it, the ones who are forgotten, are the ones who fall victim to their own success. They believe they've done enough. They believe they've reached the peak. And once they stop pushing, once they let themselves rest on their laurels, that's when they begin to slip. And then there are those like you, those who understand that this moment is just a fraction of the journey. You know that there is no finish line, no end to the race. The moment you think you've done it all is the moment you start slipping back into the pack. But you are different. You have that fire, that drive, that relentless pursuit of something greater. You are not content to stop now. You are not done. You never will be. But in this new phase, in this new journey that is just beginning, you must learn to adapt. The way you fought the battles of the past, the way you crushed your competition, may not be the same way you will win in the future. The landscape changes, the rules shift, and if you're not willing to change with it, if you're not willing to constantly evolve, then you'll find yourself left behind. In this moment of silence, in this rare moment of stillness, you have a choice. You can either step forward into the unknown, into the future, with all the wisdom and strength you've accumulated, or you can stay in the past, reliving your victories until they grow stale and irrelevant. The thing about victory, the thing that so many don't realize, is that it doesn't last forever. The glory fades, the recognition fades, the respect of others, the admiration you once commanded will eventually diminish. The world moves on, people forget, but the one thing that can never be taken from you, the one thing that will always define your legacy, is the work you put in. It is the journey, not the destination, that truly matters. The lessons you learn along the way, the sacrifices you make, the trials you endure, that is what shapes you. That is what will stay with you long after the accolades and awards have been given out and forgotten. And so, as you stand at the crossroads, as you look back at all you've achieved, and ahead at the endless possibilities that lie before you, remember this. The final round is just the beginning. The real work starts now. The real test begins when you realize that there is always more to learn, more to do, more to become. And as long as you have breath in your lungs, as long as your heart beats with that fire, you will never stop. Because you are not just here to survive, you are here to dominate. You are here to leave your mark on this world, to create a legacy that is untouchable, to show everyone that you are not just a champion. You are a force of nature, and forces of nature don't stop. They don't rest, they don't settle. They move forward, relentlessly, until they've reshaped the very world around them. So keep moving, keep pushing, keep growing. The final round is over, but the war, that's just begun. And make no mistake, you've already won the hardest battle of all. The battle against your own complacency. The fight to rise again, to keep going when the world tells you to stop. And with that victory comes the power to change everything. The power to rise even higher than before. The power to leave everyone behind, to leave a legacy that will last long after you've gone. They're out for good, but you're just getting started. You've crossed the finish line, yes, but there's more to this journey than crossing the tape at the end. You've reached the top of the mountain, but now you realize the real climb has yet to begin. For most, they would take this moment to revel in their success, to bask in the glory of their hard-fought triumphs, to savor the sweet taste of victory before the world moves on. But not you. You know better. You understand something that others don't. That the true battle is not in the conquest, but in the aftermath. It's not about being the last one standing. It's about what you do with the space once your enemies have been vanquished. It's about what you do when the stage is set, when the lights are dim, and the crowd is gone. So you stand alone in this moment, and for the first time, the world is yours. But you are not content. You cannot be. Because the truth is that victory is not an end. It's a beginning. It's the starting point for everything that's about to unfold. It's the spark, the catalyst that sets everything into motion. If you think you've reached the peak, then you've missed the point. The journey, the true journey, begins now. Because there is always more to achieve, more to push for, more to overcome. And you are not the kind of person who stops. Not when the fire inside you still burns so fiercely. Not when the hunger to be more, to become something greater than you've ever been before, pulses through your veins. Yes, they are out for good, but the real question you must ask yourself is, what next? What do you do when the noise dies down, when the last enemy falls, and you're left standing amidst the silence? What do you do when the world looks at you, expecting you to be satisfied with what you've accomplished, and all you feel is the next challenge calling your name? You have to understand that you have only just begun to tap into your true potential. The fight, the battle, the war. It was only a precursor to something far greater. You thought you were fighting for survival, fighting to win, but now you know the truth. You were fighting to awaken the beast inside you, and now that beast is unleashed. But it's not enough to be awakened. Being awake, being conscious of your potential is one thing, but harnessing it, molding it, and shaping it into something untouchable, that's the real work. That's where you separate yourself from the masses. That's where you become more than just another victor. You become a force of nature. You become an unstoppable entity, a powerhouse that no one can even begin to understand. And it's not about showing others what you can do. No, this is about showing yourself that you can go further than you ever imagined. This is about proving to yourself that there is no limit to what you can achieve, that there is no ceiling to your potential. The truth is, most people never reach this point. Most people will stop here, satisfied with what they've accomplished, content to let the past define them. But you are not most people. You are different. You understand that to grow, you must constantly challenge yourself, constantly push your limits, constantly redefine what you are capable of. And you are not afraid of that challenge. No, you crave it. You want to break the mold, to tear down the boundaries, to step into uncharted territory and claim it as your own. You've already shattered your limits once, so why not do it again? And again, and again, until there's nothing left of the old you, but a faint memory of someone who thought they couldn't do it. The world is vast, and the potential for greatness is endless. There is no peak, there is no summit that can contain your ambition, your drive, your unyielding need to become the best version of yourself. So look ahead, look to the horizon, and know that there is no finish line, no end to the journey. There are always more mountains to climb, always more challenges to face, always new heights to reach. The key is in how you approach each new step. The key is not to look back at the battles you've won, but to look forward at the battles that lie ahead, the battles that will test you in ways you've never been tested before. But here's the truth. You don't fear those battles. You don't fear failure. You don't fear defeat, because you've already tasted the sweetness of victory. And you know that the only way to continue winning, the only way to keep moving forward, is to face those challenges head on, to embrace them with open arms and a heart full of fire. This is your time. This is your moment. You've spent so long proving yourself to others, but now, the only person you need to prove anything to is yourself. There is a level of success that few will ever reach, a level of achievement that only those who are willing to sacrifice everything will ever experience. And you are willing. You know that the path is not easy. It never is. The road ahead is paved with obstacles, with setbacks, with doubts. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, moments when the weight of your goals will feel too heavy to bear, but you won't give up. You can't. You have seen what lies on the other side of perseverance. You have seen the heights that can be reached when you refuse to stop, when you refuse to let go of your dreams. And that is a sight worth fighting for. This journey is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those who are content with mediocrity, with settling for what's easy. It is for those who dare to dream big, to think beyond the constraints of what is possible. You are not bound by the limitations that others place on you. You are not confined to the boxes they try to put you in. You are limitless. You are boundless. And it's time for you to show the world just how far you can go. It's easy to sit back, to let others take the lead, to watch as the world moves around you. But you are not a spectator. You are not here to watch others make their mark. You are here to make your own. And you will. You will take everything that life throws at you, and you will turn it into something magnificent. The challenges, the obstacles, the pain, it all has a purpose. They are the tools that will forge you into something stronger, sharper, and more resilient than you ever thought possible. But there's something else, a secret that only those who truly understand greatness know. It's that the road to success is never linear. It's never a straight line from point A to point B. It's filled with twists, turns, and detours. It's filled with moments of doubt, moments when you question whether it's all worth it. But the greatest ones, the true champions, they don't let those moments define them. They don't let those setbacks stop them. They use them as fuel. They use those moments of pain as motivation to keep pushing forward, to keep climbing higher. And that's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart from everyone else. You understand that greatness is not a destination. It's a journey. And that journey never ends. It doesn't matter how far you've come, how many battles you've fought, how many victories you've claimed. There's always more. Always another challenge. Always another opportunity to prove yourself. And you will prove yourself over and over again until your name is etched into the annals of history, until you've left an indelible mark on this world that no one can ever erase. So, when you look back at where you started, at the obstacles you've overcome, at the battles you've fought and won, don't rest on your laurels. Don't sit back and congratulate yourself for making it this far, because this is just the beginning. The world is vast, and there's so much more to achieve, so many more mountains to climb. And you're just getting started. You've proven that you have what it takes. Now, it's time to prove that you can do it again and again, until there's no doubt left in anyone's mind that you are meant for greatness. They're out for good, but you're just getting started. And this world better watch out, because you're coming for everything. In the end, the final round was just the beginning. You've proven to yourself and the world that you have the strength, the will, and the fire to rise above any challenge. But now, with your competition gone and the silence settling in, it's time to embrace the next phase of your journey. There are no limits to what you can achieve, and the world is waiting for you to push even further. You are not here to rest. You are here to dominate, to redefine greatness, and to leave a legacy that will echo through time. They're out for good, but you're just getting started.